Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for the DailySheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So, NextGov.com had a piece recently describing the new F.B.I. Biometrics program and database that has been launched. And there's some new rules regarding this. One of them is they don't have to tell you when they've collected your biometric data. And of course, a lot of people will be like, well, they haven't told us before. Yeah, well, collection really hasn't happened to the level that it's happening now. There's been a push for a long time for a global DNA database. Well, this is very much like that. And when you take a look at this and you couple it with the fact that they can now clone and utilize your DNA for much more than just you did this or you were, there was some sort of crime, it becomes very sketchy. It says a new rule will prevent millions of people from finding out if their fingerprints, their iris scans, and other biometric information is stored in a massive federal database. The FBI's next generation identification system stores the biometric records of people who have undergone background checks for jobs, volunteer positions, and military service, as well as those who have criminal records. Now, effective August 31st, that database will be exempt from certain parts of the Privacy Act, a law that allows people whose records are held by the federal government to request more information about which records those are. Now, the exception means the FBI does not have to acknowledge if it's storing the biometric records of an individual in that database. And the Bureau has argued that notifying people that they were in the database could compromise investigations, which you have to wonder. At that point, it's in the FBI's database. How could it compromise an investigation by telling somebody that it's in the database? If anything, telling them, hey, by the way, your biometric data is in our database, it might deter people from actually committing crimes. And I'm not condoning the fact that I'm not condoning any sort of data collection at all. As a matter of fact, I'm dead set against it. But their logic for not telling people, it could compromise investigations. Baloney. It doesn't compromise anything. This is totally and completely police state, total and complete deep state running the government, running the federal police, and just making a total and complete mockery and shredding the Constitution. The FBI published a final rule this week. And under that rule, individuals won't be able to find out what types of records the FBI may have because it could, quote, specifically reveal investigative interests by the FBI or agencies that are recipients of the disclosures. Now, most of the criminal records in the database are obtained from state and local agencies at the time of arrest, so the FBI can't always collect information directly from the individual or notify them that their records are being included. And the FBI posted a draft of the rule last year. In that draft, the Bureau argued that some records it keeps might seem irrelevant to ongoing investigations, but could eventually end up being necessary for authorized law enforcement purposes. It's very much, folks, like the facility in Buffdale, Utah, where the NSA just carte blanche records everything, every transaction, anything electronic, anything on the phone, anything, period. It gets aggregated and it gets stored in Buffdale. Over in Buffdale, Utah, to be used at any point in time. They have algorithms and AI that can take all that information. It can put it out in a chronologically accurate timeline, and they can basically recreate your life right there on a computer screen and see exactly where you were, what you did, what your interests are. They know everything about you because all of our lives are now basically electronic. And so this is very, very dangerous in that not only do they know wherever you are, but they can make a patsy out of just about anybody. And now here they have everybody's biometric information. They can make patsies out of absolutely anybody. And now, by the way, folks, they can recreate and even generate material that contains your DNA. They can generate things that may have your fingerprint on it. They can put you at the scene of any crime anywhere and lock you up indefinitely without due process. Thank you, NDAA 2012. So, I mean, this has very, very, very stern and complicated implications. I mean, this is something that the government shouldn't be doing in the first place. And we're putting our trust in an organization that's done nothing but betray our trust, basically since it all started. So just something to be aware of. If you apply for a job and they do any sort of background check, your biometric information may end up in an FBI database, whether it be because you pee-pee tested and they took a sample there, whether or not you participated in an iris scan, fingerprints, it doesn't matter. So something to be aware of. And if you are planning on committing any sort of offense, consider this before you actually do it. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.